Hi, everyone. This is Mondia on Astral Oracles, joining you from Mexico City. So I'm here in the heart of the Americas, up on this lovely rooftop terrace with the Tivoli lights, and everything is strange. The animals, the trees, everything. Fortunately, I do know a bit of the language, but it's strange that we can do this in the global world, transplant ourselves from one culture to another in just the span of a single day. So it's interesting being here and feeling it out, and it was a long journey, but I really appreciated landing and am excited about it and spending the night here. I of course try to feel out the city and see what presents itself, and partially, you try to make sense of new places with the information and experiences you already have. So my mind is constantly trying to superimpose things like, oh, this seems a bit like Spain, and okay, this is perhaps like the Caribbean, but different, and that's how I'm trying to make sense of it, because I really pick up that the city angels of this place are strange. They seem to have this weird butterfly feel to them. Like I sense that there's something almost fey-like and not very anthropomorphic about the energies that reside here. And having been here for a little while now, the city actually reminds me, its energies reminds me more of Rome than anything else, and I don't exactly know why that is, and that's Rome, Italy, of course. But thinking about it, Rome also has this city that grew into an ancient empire and then sort of just existed with its golden days being past, but still playing an important role. And it's also kind of an artificial city, or it's a city that very early in its history depended on a lot of resources being mobilized from other places and flowing into it. And I can definitely feel that we are in some sort of valley down here. So there is this closed energy around this enormous city, which I find is very fascinating. It's a strange place to be, and I'd like to channel the Arcturians on how to perceive these energies. So essentially on what's the deal with Mexico, and I think that will be interesting. So I'm glad you're here, and I look forward to bringing you a lot of channelings from Mexico, and oh, still being a bit confused. I'll just try to remember that I'm arranging a live stream this Sunday, so please join us, and that will be at noon on the eastern seaboard in America, which will make it 6 o'clock in Europe, or 11 a.m. where I am now. So without further ado, I'll bring in Umblam and the guys, and let's see what they have to say about Mexico. Yes, and hello to you, my dearest friends. I'm so happy to be with you this day. Our deepest love, our deepest blessing, our understanding on the predicaments that all of you find yourself in and that you are trying to resolve. We enjoy it very much to see these type of crises arising in your life, because, as you know, and as is often stated as a cliche, crisis is related to opportunity, and so opportunity exactly means openness. And why is it that this openness is important? And why is it that this openness is occurring in so many of your lifetimes at this moment? Well, it is because you have moved into a place where the heavy energies of the past are no longer pressing down on your physical or incarnated experience with the same level of pressure as they used to do. And so, therefore, you may feel that you are being released from this type of pressure, but much as people who have spent their lifetimes mining for minerals underground will have a hard time seeing the light of day once they emerge into it. So you are also having a hard time seeing the full potential of these open energies because you have no places to interpret them. And that is why we and so many of your guides, so many of your spirit family, your guardian angels, your higher selves, all these eternal existences invested in your development and your well-being, they have decided to begin to guide a lot of you into new physical places. It's because these new physical places by default do not hold the same oppressive energies in your individual experience as other places may do. And so we comfort our friend here, our dear one, that he may also have sensed that there were very oppressive energies in the country he just came from, despite the fact that it's actually a place where it's quite easy to unfold yourself or express yourself or live the life you want unencumbered. And so this is a paradox to him, that he needs to actually go to a place that's far more frenetic and high-strung in its energies to begin to relax into a place where he can really feel himself. But see, sometimes this, we could say, temporal or karmic pressure that's then subsiding, it's also very beneficial to have this replaced by some physical constraints that then make you work into this newness. And so when this dear one, our friend, he is wondering what is up with these energies of this place he finds himself, well, he's seated approximately in the geographical center of the confluence of the two worlds that run north-south from pole to pole, or the continents you know as the Americas. And you will often find, if you examine the maps of your planet, that there are actually certain energetic confluences in the landscape that make up and form these civilizational phenomenon, such as the great cities or the imperial cities, and so many of them are placed in confluence points of great energy. So for instance was the case of Thebes in Egypt, where the energies of the Mediterranean, they approximately balance themselves out with the energies of the lower African continent, and they balance themselves out with the energies of the Arabian and the Saharan deserts. Or you may find the city of Rome, which our dear friend mentioned, which is situated approximately at the middle of the Italian peninsula, situated approximately in the middle of the Mediterranean Sea. Or you may sense that this place, this Mexico, is seated approximately in the center of these two great continental masses pressing down on each other. And so there is this type of pressure that turns coal into diamond present in such places. There is hard energies running together, and usually the people who thrive in such hard energies are the people who are very good at, let us say, writing dominance codes into hegemony. So often you find warlike peoples are the peoples who are good at settling in these places. You may find other instances in places such as Babylon, Moscow, even Berlin. There are certain confluences here on minor scales, but repeated on the grander scales, you often will find these major peaks of human creativity, of human activity connected and flowing together. And so this is a type of material revelation that you have not yet understood. You are still moving in from millennia of sort of conceiving the material world as a place to be transcended and overcome in order for you to move into the eternal. But know that from our perspective of what is happening in these energies is more of a coming together of those two planes. So the material is becoming spiritualized, just as the spiritual is beginning to fold itself into material reality. And here we again enter the structure of the pyramid, because the pyramid has this confluence point. So essentially it is a type of central pylon that directs and concentrates the energies of the four corners of the world, the energies of the land that it was built on, and the energies of the constellations that passed before it into a configured, certain condensed time space, into this closed space. And in enclosed spaces, you are able to do a lot of things. That is why your bodies are so miraculous. It's because you have enclosed yourself within a system of flesh and bone that you are able to explore all the transcendental possibilities of these realities. And so you may also sense that this background noise or occurrence of the appearance of the environment in your ears and in your audio perception is something that, well, is also molding you loose into this type of opening energy. So by being oppressed, you are actually being guided into seeking the places where you can release. By being in a body, you are being guided into bodily practices where you can release all the constraints that your body also put upon you. And so it becomes important for you to explore regimes such as diet, exercise, nutrition, meditation, and other types of physical configurations that can help you move about and realize your potential. And when we are talking about realizing your potential, we actually mean quite literally, physically, vibrationally. That to us it doesn't really matter that much if you create a higher identity that you are more content with. What matters to us is that when we see humankind, we sense the entire energetic grid of your species altering itself and you becoming greater way stations for spiritual energies to pour themselves out into this section of the time space or physical space. And so this magical place that you have arrived, and in a sense we could say all places are magical, but you would sense that this place is teeming with life, and you would sense that these energies are quite isolate. So the very interesting thing about this place, and why you might experience it as highly but uniquely or idiosyncratically spiritualized, the spirits that inhabit this place being very regional, local, and foreign to your perceptions. It has to do with all the peaks and valleys. So much as the pyramids, the mountains also form certain energetic confluences. And when we are in a place where these continental bodies are lending all their energies into this type of funneling into a certain physical space, and then you find that this funneled energy is then divided and has to be dispersed into the cookie cutter of different mountain valleys that all, well, are separated and segregated and have special energies, then you will find that this is exactly the place where you can also sort of, we would say, almost big different experimental attitudes towards reality and really watch nature interact with them in different ways, because there are still many natural secrets to be uncovered in this place, especially in, we would say, the mineral realm. There is so much of the way that energy is funneled through this land and through these mountainous spaces of the interior that you haven't really comprehended, because your idea of the magnetic ley lines of the planet is still sort of primitive in that it doesn't necessarily recognize the base immediate reality of how these energies, they create human existence and they shape human life in its everyday expressions and appearances. And so it will be helpful for you wherever you are, and we are speaking to all of you, to go exploring what is in the landscape next to you, to go exploring geographically by, we could say, jumping just one landscape and sense that there is a type of energetic current in the place that you are used to that alters and shifts itself gradually as it crosses a river, or as it moves into hill country, or as it descends and meets the oceans, where the beaches, they lay in their infinite sprawls, stretching in both directions without you seeing the end of them. These energies are not endless. These energies are concentrated. These energies are something that human beings will begin to get a hold of. And as you move into your 5-dimensional experience, it is hard for you now to imagine what kind of energy workers you will become, but many of you are getting a taste of it. Our friend here is getting a taste of, well, we could almost say the encyclopedic or library-like quality there is to cosmic energies, that you can open up and look up everything and know that this same encyclopedia can be read from the energies of a single human cell, they can be read from the energies of a single mountain, or they can be read from the energies of a single mountain valley. You are this composite landscape. And so as we speak here from the navel of these old continents, which you sometimes term the New World because they seem to hold some sort of strange promise that is unrecognizable to you and yet has manifested in the new states and policies that have been built up on these continents in the past centuries. As we come to you from this place, we remind you that your navel is also the confluence point of your body, and that these astral and earthly energies, they are coming together in that place to blend themselves into an energy spiral that transmutes all the material energy into starlight, and then transmutes the starlight into material energies. Many of you have been therefore experiencing digestive issues in especially these past 3 months, or in the period from the equinox to the solstice. And now many of you are being guided to begin to sustain yourself, change your eating habits and the way you ingest foodstuffs, because essentially your navel points are becoming active. And so many of you light workers who have shut down from your own senses of fulfillment, that is the second chakra, of really taking your place, you are coming into a place where, well, it's like the world is almost begging to be recreated in an image that's conducive to the growth of well-being of humans. And this is the role you are all playing. So have faith that you are being guided into the places, and that when you feel that you need to go, and when you feel called to go someplace, this is the place you need to go. Follow your whims and impulses, and yet ground them into the earth to make sure that your great mother will support you in this journey of yours, in this recreation of the time-space that you are unfolding, fulfilling, living up to, living out, and simply living. And therefore, I, Umblam of the Arcturian Council, with the love of all the Arcturians, with the love of the Galactic Alliance, and with the love of the Intergalactic Council of Light, I transmit guidance to you. Know that this guidance is available when you reach out to touch it, and it can be found by gently pushing the button, the belly button of your navel center, and hearing what energies present themselves. All of you are becoming multidimensional, and in multidimensionality we will all connect in love. Therefore, blessings to you, dear human beings. Goodbye for now.